I don't know each and every one of you, but I believe that I can understand what you are going through as women in power. I'm sure that in different languages, in different states, you hear the same comments that I heard during my life in politics and the same questions. The comments are more about the way we look and less about what we say and what we believe in. Questions about the family, if you have children, what about the children, how they are getting along with a mother that has a career. And this is something that we don't need because we have personally our own guilty conscience about leaving our children and working and doing something, not even for ourselves, but for the states and society we live in. And it's time for us to understand that we need to stop it. And first and foremost, to understand that we deserve and we are entitled to do what we believe is important for us. And I believe that the world is changing. But it took me some time to understand that we need to fight for something, because basically I was not a feminist when I was young. I had my own law firm, and I thought that this is the situation. I mean, I have children, I need to take care of them. It's not about the society in which I live in, it's about me, and I got all the help coming from my husband. But then, when I joined politics, I discovered that yes, there is a glass ceiling. And when we are talking about equal rights, this is something that in general it exists, but when it comes to salary, when it comes to jobs, even in and within the government, there is discrimination. And I also discovered that we need to fight for it because others would not do it. I mean, it is true that this is something that men and women should fight for because this is about the nature of the society. It's not just a women business. But we need to lead this, and we need to be there. And this is what I did after discovering that without us, nobody would take care of our rights. And as a foreign minister, I discovered something else. I discovered that while I met also other foreign ministers and leaders and prime ministers, talking about women, of course, there's a difference between decision-making of women and men. Hi, Mazal. And the difference is that when it comes to men, it is more about ego and politics. And when it comes to women who makes the decision, it is less ego, less politics, and more important, it is more about values. I discovered that when we make decisions, we have this inner compass, and we make our decision understanding what is simply right and wrong. And we would not take in consideration what is the impact of this decision on our political career. Because we believe in something. Because it's not easy for us to be in politics. So those of us who decided to do so, they believe in something. You believe in something. I believe in something. And therefore, when we make decision, it's about this something that we believe in, that we are fighting for, and it's not about our own position. Now, when I ran for office, for the office of the Israeli Prime Minister, I discovered something else. Personally, I discovered for the first time that there is a glass ceiling, but it's not only a glass ceiling that men put on our heads. It is also less of understanding of women that we can do it. Now, Israel is quite a complicated place. I'm sure that you already understand it. We have problems of security. We have different threats. We need to handle these threats, and we need to give an answer to these challenges. And what I heard in Hebrew was something that Hillary Clinton heard in English. Who's going to answer the phone 3 a.m.? this image of a phone call during the night, a phone call that is connected to Israel's security or to US security or any other state security. And there are those that it's difficult for them to understand or to accept that women can take the phone and not just say, yes, just a moment, I'm giving you the prime minister, but a woman who can say yes and can give an answer to different threats. Now, you've been here during this week, and you heard of the challenges of Israel's security coming from Gaza Strip. So, on one hand, we have in Gaza Strip a terrorist organization that represents extreme religious ideology that would not accept for many years now the right of Israel to exist. They are not fighting for the existence or the establishment of a Palestinian state, but they would not accept the right of Israel to exist. They are targeting deliberately kindergartens. This is what happened 2 days ago. And thank God the kids were not there. While we are a democracy with an army that tries to fight back and to stop terror, and when we have civil casualties on the other side, we have our own independent inquiries. So it is a kind of an unbalanced situation. And this is a great opportunity for me also to ask you in your own state to support the right of Israel to defend itself from terror. Thank you. Because this is also about right and wrong. And the choice here is not between Israel and the Palestinians. It's between these terrorists and between the right of every state to defend its sovereign borders. But when it comes to decision-making, when men are entering, generals, ministers are entering the security cabinet, they are talking about just security from a very narrow angle. For them, it's only about the army. We have problems, we have terror, okay, let's take the army and let's give them orders and they would give us victory. But the reality is more complicated than this. And as a minister in the Israeli security cabinet, I came to the meetings with other ideas from a broader angle, in an understanding that strength, power, army, military activities and operation is important and needed. But this is not just the only way to change reality. Sometimes we need it, but we need to add to this also other understandings with the international community, having the support not only on the right to defend ourselves, but also to change realities on the ground. When we are talking about Gaza, we would use our military force to attack terror, but we can change realities also by taking some steps toward the civil population there without strengthening the terrorist organization. Well, this is more complicated than just sending the soldiers to a military operation. And it was very clear to me that while men are entering the room with an idea of a military operation, I would put, from my side, a broader perspective of the situation with a different solution. More complicated, though, but a solution that can change reality in the long run and not just in a shorter perspective. One of the images also that we should that exists, and we should understand that it's just an image and not reality, I'm sure that you would understand it, is that when it comes to security, okay, this is something that men can do. Women, they want peace. Women are weak, so peace is a matter of weakness. And we need to change this image and perception. Because peace is not a matter of weakness that just some women are asking for. This is something that we need to do in order to give our children and their generation the possibility to live in a quiet and peace environment, state, country. And in Israel, women succeeded in changing this reality when they fought for peace in the streets of Israel and forced our government in the past to change the security position of Israel. And while we are talking here, not far from this building, we have a tent of a group called themselves Women Wage Peace, and they are fighting for peace. Basically, they almost live there. And they decided to stay there in this tent across the parliament to fight for peace. But I said to them, and this is something that I say to you today, we need to speak up of our right to make decisions for the future of our states also in security matters, not only for peace. And the idea of, okay, we will take care of security, you would speak about peace, this is something that I would not accept. We need to do both. And the good news is that the world is changing. And the world is changing because we have a completely different world now because of new technology, because of the social networks. I mean, me too. Time's up. These are not only hashtags, you know. This is really a change. It is changing the world we live in. And this is a power that started, you know, somebody started it. It was not an organized thing coming from a minister, prime minister, government. It's about us, women. And we should be connected and fight together. And each and every one of you is trying to change the society in which you live in, the state in which you live in, which is very important in different fields. It could be education, it could be healthcare, everything, security or peace, and peace. But it is not less important that we would understand that by acting together, women from different parts of the world, of the international community, we can change the world. We are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for generations to come. They deserve a better future, and we are those that have the responsibility to change it for them. Thank you.